So I'm doing one slice of the cinnamon croissant loaf and then one slice of the Hawaiian.
Oh, okay. I see.
Just wanted to try it. So we get 2 slices of French toast each.
Nice.
Did you want eggs?
Sure, were you making eggs?
No.
Oh. No, that's fine.
Sorry. That's right, you gotta use these. I can't tie it off.
Yeah. I get so mad at her because she ties it like that rather than using the clip like that.
Literally does not matter.
It does matter.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
And the knot is better to keep the air out anyway.
Whatever.
So it doesn't get stale.
What's on your nose? What do you got on your nose? Is that an eggshell? You got an eggshell on your nose? Is that what's going on? You don't like the camera.
Okay, Google. Turn off the kitchen light. Give me a mic check.
Mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Ah.
Alrighty.
Are you recording?
Yeah, the light's on.
Oh.
Yep. Oh. Hello. So, we've tried to film this video 3 times.
3rd time's the charm, maybe.
Yeah. Various issues, audio issues, focus issues, and now we just
Gave up and you're just gonna have to eat dinner with us.
yeah. We have some
French toast.
French toast and bacon.
Try it without the maple syrup first.
Did you try it with
Yes.
that? Okay. It's very soft inside. It's really good.
Yeah, that custard is really good.
It's really good, but I do want some syrup. So, I wanted to give you an update on us. So, we've been,
At home.
obviously, we've been at home.
The last time you saw us, we were, the last video we've uploaded was, our full video that we've uploaded was in March. And we were working from home.
Trying to do daily vlogging because we had nothing better to do.
And, you know, trying to keep up with friends via Zoom as best as we can. And a lot has happened in the last 10 months. So
first off, the daily vlogging just became too much. We were trying to do like actual daily vlogging, like posting a video every day, not like Gene Nagata style daily vlogging where you just like film every day and then post a video like once or twice a week or something like that. So that was way too much, especially with all that was happening at that point because it was the beginning of the lockdown and all of that. And then just a lot of things happened. We just kind of fell into a rut for a while. But we've actually done a lot since March. So probably the biggest thing is what you see here. We rearranged the house. So this is now the bar. As you can see, it's nice and nicely lit. Over here to our right, to your left, I guess, is the living room, which used to be right here. Right where we are right now is a huge 5 foot by 6 foot dining table / kitchen island / dumping ground for everything because it's the only surface that we have in the house anymore, like big open surface. And then our bedroom's still in the same spot, kitchen's still in the same spot behind you. Yeah, but then one of the other things that had to happen is, since we were both working from home, she needed a place to work. I already had my desk over in the corner in the front of the house. That's gone through some upgrades as well, but for the most part, she needed a place to work. So back over here, my company, our lease was up in September, and they decided for the office, and they decided not to renew the lease, obviously. And what they did is they basically liquidated the entire office, and they gave everyone first dibs to their desk setup, like desk, monitor, any accessories that you had, and like filing cabinets, and even as far as other office things like tables, chairs, couches.
That plant in
That
the corner.
plant, yeah. Just anything in the office that they didn't have a need to keep, that when we do eventually get an office again, they can rebuy. So, long story short, she claimed all of my desk stuff because I already had a setup. So now her home office setup is my old office setup, including monitor and everything.
Pretty much like saved us $2,500.
Oh, easily.
Of office furniture, because his desk was fully sit stand, mechanical, and everything like that. Got a monitor. So it was pretty much Christmas in July when we got all the furniture. So now that we have rearranged the house, also it was one of those times where we've been sitting in the space for too long, and I needed to do something about it. So we arranged the whole house, and we've got a whole new living room.
It was so bad. It was so bad.
So it was very, very necessary. So
overall, like, I feel like this flow works a lot better. Mm-hmm. We don't have like a separate dining table and couch, kitchen, island, whatever. It's all right here. If we could have people over, we could fit 10 people around this table and have a nice party. So whenever things go back to somewhat normal and people are a little bit more comfortable and it's a little less or a little more socially acceptable to have people over,
we'll have people over.
We'll have people over, and it's all set up for that. And we got a full set of chairs. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just heard one of the other new things.
Derek, for some weird reason, really wanted a dog that cuddles. That's something that Erin, our first dog, does not do. Erin likes to sleep in her own space. She cuddles with herself. And she coils around and does that. But Derek, for some weird reason, wanted a dog that cuddles. So he started looking at puppies. Come here. We ended up finding
This little nugget.
She's like, ooh, bacon. Her name is Polly. She is a red heeler, about 1 to 2 years old.
Yeah.
And she's deaf.
Yeah. We found out about a week after we got her that she's deaf, just because she doesn't react to anything.
Nothing.
We were trying to teach her name, being like, Polly, and then give her a treat, Polly, and then give her a treat. And she would just like stare up at us and be like, ooh, treat, yum. Ooh, treat, yum. But then like we would call her and she wouldn't react at all. Not even like, she wouldn't react to any noises or anything, nothing. So yeah, we found out she was deaf, and the shelter we got her from actually had a 2-week return policy, I guess.
It's a conditional
Yeah.
adoption. It's not a return policy.
But we seriously contemplated giving her back, but we decided to stick it out. There were definitely some tumultuous couple of months there with her and Aaron because they didn't get along at all.
They still don't, actually. They're very tolerant of each other, but they're not friends.
No.
They're not friends.
I think they're becoming friends. At least Polly has definitely shown some like attachment to Aaron now. Like if Aaron's gone, because Aaron goes on hikes 2 days a week, and whenever she's gone, Polly will definitely look a little bit sad and a little alone. Yeah.
Yeah, this
So
is
now
our
we have-
quarantine adoption.
Yes.
Little Miss Polly. She's definitely have turned our lives upside down. She's definitely turned Aaron's life upside
Yeah.
down. So because of Polly, I'll let you eat.
Well, I wouldn't say because of Polly. We'd been needing to do this for a while.
But Polly pushed it.
Yeah.
One of the things that we got, also, which did not make sense. Who does this in a pandemic? But we got a new car. We've been talking about getting a new car for a really long time, and we managed to get rid of my small little blue car, and upgraded to a Jeep Grand Cherokee. It was not a very fast decision. God, we looked for a really long time and had so much conversations on what car we wanted. But we had the basics. We hit the basics. We wanted a 4x4, a four-wheel drive, because we want to be able to take it out to the mountains, to the camping, and we wanted it to be big enough for 2 dogs, and also, if necessary, big enough for us to sleep in.
Yeah.
And
It's
that
like
was
in a pinch kind of thing.
in a pinch, yeah. So that's our minimum requirements, and we landed on the Grand Cherokee. It's been working great.
We
Not
looked
that
at
we've been.
so many different cars.
Yeah, we looked at so
There's
many.
so many
cars.
different options, and we just it seemed like the Grand Cherokee, at least for us, was the best like bang for the buck.
We're actually going to take it on an actual road trip in the next weekend.
Yeah.
We'll be driving safely, and this is why we're driving. And this is why we got the car. We'll be road tripping across Nevada, and then landing in Utah to go to Park City.
Salt Lake and Park City.
And we'll be snowboarding on 5 mountains in 2 days. 2 days? 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. That's a lot. Yeah. 5 mountains, 2 weeks, driving across 3 states.
We used up all of our Epic Pass reservations for this one trip because it's probably the only snowboarding we're going to be able to realistically do this season.
And we'll see. We'll let you guys know how that goes. We'll definitely, knowing him,
Oh,
we'll definitely take you guys.
There
with
will
us.
be vlogs.
New dog pushed us to a new car, and actually, that's so. You know what's crazy?
Yeah, I think I know what you're gonna say.
What?
Is that you were unemployed when we got our car?
Yeah. I was unemployed. Who buys a car in a pandemic when people are broke AF and your spouse is unemployed?
Yeah.
So, as with a lot of people, I was actually unemployed, found myself unemployed in May. My company I was with for 4 years, let go of our department in May. It was the trend of tech companies that they were letting go of at least 20 to 40% of their workers, and that just happened to be me. That was very hard for me because I had loved what I did. I loved the people that I worked with, and it was probably one of my first real jobs where I grew as a person. I grew as a person to learn how to do what I was doing, and that was very, very hard. It was definitely a grieving process. losing a job. Also, not being able to get unemployment immediately was really, really difficult, and that provided some stress on top of that.
It is so amazing to me. Well, it's not amazing to me, but the inefficiencies in our government are amazing. Like she sent in her application and like she made one mistake. Like she made a typo on her one of the dates that she put down, and then it like, did it get denied or like what was?
No, it didn't get denied or anything. I just wanted to make an edit on it, but everything was
because
fine.
It was like 3 months, like 2 or 3 months, and she still hadn't received anything. Like no, like notice like, hey, we're still working on it, or here's your debit card with that you can use to start spending. Like nothing.
I did not get unemployment support until October, and I was laid off in May. So I was part of the backlog.
My point is that you were calling every day for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Trying to get in. Every single time you didn't get in.
Nope.
Like you never got to talk to anyone.
Never. And I still haven't actually. And one day an envelope showed up in our mail with a debit card. I checked the debit card and hallelujah, there was all of the back pay that I was waiting for the last 5 months. So at least I got it. Thank God.
But I mean, that's not helpful for the, like, if we were in a situation like many other people were, where you're relying on the unemployment because you literally don't have any income coming in, like, you're shit out of luck. Like, and then what are you supposed to do? How are you supposed to feed your kids and all that kind of stuff? Like it.
Yes. So we were definitely blessed not to be in that situation. Very privileged enough that Derek kept his Derek's company was fairly stable. No layoffs, no nothing, and he was still working from home. And when we were buying the car, I was very, very nervous because I did not get a job. There was no prospects at that time either. I had a couple of interviews, but like I didn't have an offer on the table or anything like that. So it was very. Yeah,
your job came about very quickly.
Yeah. So I had filled out a profile to in this YC feeder employment.
YC is Y Combinator. It's an incubator for startups. What is it? Workatastartup.com or something like that. Mm-hmm. And she applied there, and it was pretty quick that you got a response.
Yeah, I applied there. I didn't even fill out my profile completely. I didn't even think about it. But I got this email from my now boss. From her first email to hiring, I was hired within 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. So it was very quick. Very fast growing user base, and now I've been with them for 6 months, started in September, and now we are both absolutely working 100% remotely. So glad to have found a job.
Yeah.
I love what I'm doing. I'm learning a lot on the startup end. And I mean startup, like startup. There's 8 of us.
Yeah.
We're not working out of a garage, but we are building everything from the ground up, and it's the foundations, and I'm learning so much, and it's a lot. But we're okay.
So yeah, we were fortunate enough to weather all of this pretty well so far. Yeah, seriously. But yeah, and one of the things that I identified while she was unemployed is that she had nothing to do. She had no hobbies, nothing. So she would just sit around on her phone scrolling, or
I would literally like eat breakfast, drink coffee, and then fall back asleep in the middle of the day.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. And so like I encouraged her to start to find a hobby, and I asked her, like, what do you enjoy doing? And she said sewing.
Mm-hmm. So during my unemployment time, definitely took some time to, one, grieve, because it was a grieving process.
Yeah.
And then 2, take some time to actually like figure out what the hell I did in the last 4 years, try to put that in a resume, and then also learn how to advocate for myself. This was the very first time in my life where I was unemployed and I didn't have to find a job out of survival. So I had to actually, like, I had a choice to present myself in a way that, you know, and be more selective in the jobs that I was applying for. And actually, like, the fact that I had 4 years experience previously in a job that I was doing, that, like, hell yeah, I deserve a job that I wanted and stuff. So within that, I found time to sew. I've had a sewing machine since sophomore year of high school, since I was 15, and for some weird reason been carrying it around since then. And so got that, got it oiled, got it cleaned, and I started sewing. Started looking it up on YouTube, how to read patterns, how to read fabric, and just started doing it. So that was something that I picked up while I was unemployed, but then once I got a job, now I didn't have a space for that.
Yeah, because where her desk is now, we had set up her like sewing area, and she had, before she got laid off, she was using this like temporary like standing desk situation.
I should sell that.
Probably, yes. Which was, I mean, you seemed to like it, but it was on the dining table. It was like,
yeah,
it was
anyway
in the way, and it wasn't her own space. And so
space is a big deal for me. The fact that he was living here before and I needed my own space to call mine. So we found a storage unit outside of our apartment.
There's actually, it's been there. I mean, it's been there since the building was built, but someone else was occupying it, and then we noticed one day she was packing all her stuff up and cleaning it out and all that, and then it was empty. And so we contacted the landlord and said, hey, what's going on with this storage unit? Like, is it available? Can we take it? How much is it? That kind of thing. And so now they said it was available, and we jumped on it. So now we have a 400 square foot concrete walled box that sits above the hallway downstairs, and it's 20 feet from our front door. And so
half storage unit,
yeah,
half sewing space.
Yep.
And he got internet in it, Wi-Fi in it. We also got a brand new TV due to his office. So the old TV is now in the studio, and I have that to cast Netflix and everything like that on. So definitely have my own creative space. And I actually like the fact that it's out of the house.
Yeah.
So I can literally be not in the same 4 walls.
And you can keep it messy without having to...
Yeah, without having to put stuff away, which is great. I think that is huge for me. Yeah. So now I have my own creative studio, and I just keep sewing away. So once the pandemic is over, I'll have a whole new wardrobe. Yeah. But, you know, it's definite while I was sewing heavily every single day when I didn't have a job, I was thinking that maybe I could start recording my sewing videos, because I'm the type of person who, like, I don't know how to do this. Let me see if somebody else has done this and how to do it online. And scarcely I find them. I don't find any of the videos. Maybe 70% of the videos I'm looking for and instructions I'm looking for, I don't find. So if I needed it looking to get sewing, I'm sure somebody else needs it. So maybe I'll start recording sewing tutorials or just sew-alongs. I don't know. It might be another project for me.
Yeah.
For him to edit. For me to record. You know. We'll see.
But yeah, so she had that hobby now, so she had something to do. And then what are you barking at, dog?
I don't know. Things.
So I have hobbies. I have other
He has too many hobbies, actually.
Yeah, I have too many hobbies. But one of the things that myself and thousands of other people picked up during the pandemic was sim racing.
You have Aaron Girl's hair in your hair.
One of my friends' invited me to a sim racing league a little over a year ago now. Very casual back then, like using just like Xbox controllers. I think it was Thursday nights or Wednesday nights or something like that, and just all sit down for an hour or two and just drink and play shitty racing. It's called Shitty Racing League is what it was called. And so at the beginning of the pandemic, right around April, we were starting up a new season. Yeah, we had done 2 seasons of one game, Project Cars 2, and then it was starting to get a little bit more serious. People were starting to get like actual wheels, VR setups. I bought the wheel during the pandemic, and then also a better VR headset, and then more recently I bought a new wheel.
Upgraded.
I upgraded my wheel, and so now it's become a lot more serious. We're on the 2nd season of this new game. What is she? She's sniffing the boxes?
She's grabbing something.
What is she grabbing?
I don't know, but she's gonna.
Oh, it's the furry.
Oh.
It's this.
She's trying to grab your dead cats.
Yeah, so we'll leave these up here so she doesn't destroy them.
I was like, I knew she was grabbing something.
Yeah, so we switched over to Assetto Corsa Competizione.
Huh.
It's a racing game.
Okay.
It's gained a lot of popularity over the last year, probably in large part due to the pandemic. Yeah, now it's gotten really serious. We've doubled the number of racers. It's like people get pissed when bad things happen. Like, it's gotten serious. But then also, that's her tail hitting her crate. One of the other things, I actually picked it back up. I used to brew beer years ago, and I stopped because it was just there's too much to do. Like, it's a lot of work to brew beer. What I wanted to do is I wanted to brew something, and so I had gotten really into ginger beer, like alcoholic ginger beer, and I was researching it, and it's actually really simple. It's basically like making a tea, and then you put it in a carboy for a couple weeks and let it ferment, and then you bottle it, and that's it. And so I brewed a few batches of that. She's chasing her tail now.
She's a character.
Yes. I also brewed a cider, because that's very similar. Actually, you don't even have to boil a cider. You can just
Put yeast in it.
Yeah.
And call it a day.
Yeah. Add a little bit more sugar to bump up the alcohol content, but that's pretty much it. Yeah. As for hobbies, that's pretty much it. I mean, obviously this is kind of a hobby for us that has fallen by the wayside over the last year and a half or so. We celebrated our first wedding anniversary almost a year ago.
Yeah, almost a year ago. And actually, the interesting part is that we're going back to Park City exactly a year.
Oh, that's right, because we went to Park City
last year for my birthday.
That's right. But then we went to Whistler
In March.
The year before we went to Whistler.
And then we went back.
We went back this past March.
And then the pandemic started.
Literally the weekend before the lockdown. Flying during that time, it was like, have you been to China? Are you coming? Like,
Yeah.
and it's like, Oh, how little we knew back then.
Anyway, this is the first time we're driving for a snowboarding trip. We've always flown.
At least this far.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've gone to Tahoe a bunch, but that's a 3.5 hour drive. Yeah.
Yeah, versus 12 to Utah.
12 to 14, something like that.
Yeah.
And then another 7 or 8 to Colorado to Breck. And then, it's quite an itinerary.
It's going to be a lot. I'm excited though, because I've been working for 6 months straight, and trying to take a break when you work from home and trying to turn your brain off working from home. If you've been working from home, you know what I mean. It's kind of hard. So I'm burnt out, and I've burnt out quicker in the last 6 months than in the last year of working in an office with people. So I need the vacation.
It's also a little bit different for you because startup life is way different because you can't turn off.
Yes, I cannot.
Like there's not enough coverage for you to turn off. There's not enough processes and automations in place that you can turn off. Mm-hmm. And so I know that life.
It's very hard, and I'm exhausted, and I cannot wait to be on the mountain snowboarding and being in my happy place.
And that's exactly why she has her sewing now, and I have my literal reality distortion goggles.
That's what they should just call it, reality distortion. Yeah, we literally have to escape our lives because one, there's 2 of us and 2 dogs, so that's 4 beings in one studio. I understand that there may be some people who are be like, why are you leaving? It's getting worse. Strains are getting stronger. We are doing this for us. We are doing this as safe as we can.
Yeah.
And our mental health is suffering if we don't.
And skiing, snowboarding, being on the mountain is one of the safest sports that you can do right now because
everybody's covered.
Yeah, it's socially distant by nature, and and everybody already usually has a mask or something on anyway.
We just might have to wait through longer chairlift lines, and people are socially distant there. I feel like resorts are pretty easy because they've also been suffering a lot. Mm-hmm. Mountains and resorts have been suffering a lot. Tourism has been suffering a lot. So for those of you who are going out there, don't ruin it for everyone. Be safe, wear a mask, be patient, give everybody some grace.
I don't know if the number of people allowed on the mountain is much different than it used to be, but at the very least, you don't have to worry about spikes of
overcrowding.
Days where you have hundreds of thousands of people on the mountain.
Mm-hmm. And plus they've closed most of lodges.
Yeah, I don't think most places allow you to sit and eat inside, but they'll.
We'll see.
I think they let you come in and get food, but then you have to go outside and eat or something. We're also not planning to eat resort food anyway because
we never do.
Yeah.
Because resort food is expensive, AF.
Mm-hmm.
And plus we plan on bringing the dogs with us so that we can have a break in the car, let them out and play in the snow for a little bit, and give them some breather room and bring them into the snow. It's gonna be really exciting.
Yeah.
I'm excited. And it's the first thing that we've had something to look forward to. God, I miss looking forward to things. This pandemic has robbed all of us of that. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
Ready to sit my butt down for 10 hours on a drive.
That's the kind of near future. The future beyond that, as far as this channel is related, we're still planning to post some videos more regularly. We haven't set any kind of schedule because our lives are too inconsistent.
We're too inconsistent.
We're too inconsistent to be able to set a schedule.
Well, that's us from the last 10 months. It's a good gist of it.
Yeah.
So, thanks for sitting down watching us eat and talk.
Yeah. And until next time,
It's us against the world.
bye.